I'm Lee Spencer with Senior Vice President of Competition, Steve O'Donnell. What finally tipped the scales with NASCAR kind of going back to grassroots racing and DQing a driver with an illegal car following a race?
I think it's probably twofold. When you look at the desire to be as close to grassroots racing as possible, that's obviously something that takes place at a number of short tracks across the country. And then the balance shifting in terms of wanting to declare a winner, hoping there wouldn't be a penalty, but then seeing that more and more, unfortunately, we saw post-race infractions that led into storylines that continued week after week. So from our standpoint, we wanted to stop that, be able to have the fans know who won the race at the racetrack, and decided this was the right time to do that.
For a long time, one of the reasons that we kind of had that leeway was we didn't have social media. We didn't have the technology in the garage to do the kind of inspecting that we do now. Is this just a look into 21st century racing?
I think that's a great question, Lee, and I think it is. If you look at in the past, right, if you didn't declare a penalty until Wednesday, when you didn't have social media, that may have been okay. If you look at today, that's the equivalent of almost 6 months, right, with the time social media moves and storylines. So I think that did contribute a lot to this, and just being able to not only make a decision more quickly, but the ability to broadcast that out to everyone. There was a fear that the fans wouldn't know at the track. There's a way now for us to immediately get that message out and also explain why.
And finally, you talked a little bit about international expansion. I was really fascinated with that. And like I said, having been to Australia and New Zealand and seen all kinds of racing in our off season, which is their summer, is there the potential, to add new markets where we could see stock car racing in the future?
Absolutely. I think, first and foremost, we want to try and develop that stock car racing culture. That'll start with some local racing, iRacing, some different initiatives we're already involved in. But we want to go where our OEMs feel like it's an important emerging market, and then where we also see an emerging car market. And there are a number of countries throughout the world where that's taking place. So I think you'll see us develop stock car racing in those countries and then utilize those big markets to potentially put an exhibition race that helps foster some of that growth in the country.
Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.